Hello, Libra, and welcome into your reading for the second half of September, where we'll be taking a look at jobs and careers, love and relationships, and life path and mission. So before we jump into that part, this is something that I started doing in the last one of these semi-monthly readings, where I pull a crystal card to see what crystal that the universe or divine is encouraging you to work with for the second half of the month. And actually, this one came up in another reading. This Sugar Light Platinum. So wholeness, forgiveness, and dreams. So working on that forgiveness aspect. Before we jump into those areas that I mentioned at the beginning, let's take a look at what your overall energy is for the second half of the month. So it should be hopefully getting a little bit better. We have Mercury going direct on the 15th, and then from that point on, we have all of our planets that are in retrograde are going to stay in retrograde for the rest of the month. No new ones enter. And so that'll help kind of bring at least a little bit of stability. Even if the energy is tough, at least it's not as dynamic, or it's not moving as much. So we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Uranus, and Jupiter in retrograde. On the 23rd, we do have the sun entering your sign. So that's going to be about fairness and balance and kind of creating that partnership and that peace. So there's going to be a little bit of that sense of, I don't want to deal with drama. I just want things to be peaceful and happy. And then we have a full moon in Aries, the harvest moon, on the 29th. And so that's going to be a really good time to work on like aligning with your mission, because you are going to have access to your conscious and your subconscious mind during that time. So it's about where do you want to invest your energy in. So overall, your energy for the second half of the month, we have 5 of Acorns in reverse. So that's 5 of Wands in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and then 3 of Swords in reverse. So with your 5 of Acorns or your 5 of Wands in reverse, that is about resolution and kind of peaceful solutions. So if you have been having some conflict, you're finding some resolution there, maybe a little bit of forgiveness, but with that Libra and trying to balance things out, that seems appropriate, try to find that peaceful solution. Temperance in reverse is kind of like there's an imbalance or an excess or a little bit of like this avoidance. So if this is the imbalance, you're working on fixing that and finding a resolution. The 3 of Feathers, that's going to be your 3 of Swords in reverse. So 3 of Swords in reverse is about that optimism and forgiveness and moving on. So you have forgiveness up here. So working with that Sugar Light and Platinum, it's moving on. It's finding that peaceful resolution to whatever the imbalance is. So it looks like that's happening pretty naturally for you, and it could be around the 23rd when the sun enters Libra, where you kind of say, enough is enough. I don't want drama. Let's find a solution to this. Let's move on from it. All right, let's see what is coming up for jobs and careers for you. All right, in the recent past, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. You're currently sitting in the Tower in reverse energy, with the next level or likely outcome being the Hermit. So with your 6 of Wands in reverse, that's going to be, there's been some disappointment at work, maybe a little bit of feeling like disgraced or some, kind of some arrogance. I mean, this figure kind of is a little bit proud or arrogant, and that has pushed you into like this Tower in reverse energy, which that's kind of this like fear of letting go, like you're resisting change and you're avoiding the inevitable. So, the Tower upright is about, oh my gosh, this is all coming down. The Tower in reverse is about, I know it's coming down, but I'm not going to, I don't want this to happen. I'm clutching for dear life to keep it from happening. And then the next level after that is going to be this deep introspection and soul searching and kind of reflecting on what's been happening. You may be a little bit antisocial. So some of this, I would say some of this disappointment is keeping you clinging to something that maybe needs to change. So maybe the disappointment is trying to push you in a different direction, but you're holding on for dear life. So what is on the other side of this Hermit energy? Let's see if things improve or if it's just kind of a stagnant pattern. So let's look at, say, what's on the other side of this energy. On the other side of it, you have, it's a very generous and giving type of energy, and then 10 of Cups. So that's going to be, things are wonderful, it's harmonious, it's happy. So let's take a look at some timeline for that as to when you get to that point. So this self-reflection is going to put you into a better place, whether it's figuring out how to address this and change this scenario, or maybe it's a matter of saying, you know what, this job isn't the right fit for me, I'm going in a different direction. But it looks like part of the solution is generosity on your part, and then it's going to push you into that 10 of Cups. So after a massive change is timing wise of when this is going to happen. So it could be between these two cards, the current energy and the incoming energy, you actually do decide to release control and you let that tower happen. So sometimes, the tower is kind of perceived as, oh my gosh, things are falling apart, but sometimes they have to in order to build this better future. So it could be a matter of, during your deep reflection there, you come to the conclusion that you need to let go and you need to let this tower happen, because you're going to get your blessings after the massive change comes through. All right, let's take a look at your love and relationships. Okay. In the recent past, you have the 9 of Pentacles. You're currently sitting in Page of Swords. Oh, 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Currently sitting in Page of Swords in reverse energy. And then the next level of energy coming through is the Judgment card. So you have been in this place of kind of lacking some self-control and a sense of, when it comes to Pentacles, like overspending. And this could be financially overspending, or it could be emotionally or energetically overspending. And then that is kind of pushing you into this energy of like cynicism or bluntness. And it has to do with manipulation, whether you're the one being manipulated or whether you're doing the manipulation. And then after that, the Judgment card is coming through. And so that's kind of this awakening, it has this element of like an awakening or a rebirth. And usually with divine judgment coming in, it's generally looked at as like favorably that the divine judgment's coming in. But depending on, like, if you're the one that's doing the manipulating, it could be that things kind of come full circle and you have that like aha moment of realizing, wait a second, that's not the way I should be behaving. And sometimes you can get to that realization on your own. Sometimes it takes, kind of getting bit in the butt to come to that realization. But let's see, maybe say a couple of months down the road, what energy is on the other side of that judgment. So does that judgment, what's it gonna look like after judgment comes in? 5 of Cups in reverse and Knight of Wands in reverse. So your 5 of Cups in reverse is like moving on, kind of turning the corner, and you're finding that acceptance. And then with your Knight of Wands in reverse, there is some kind of anger. So it could be that you get angry first and then move on. And that doesn't necessarily mean move on from that person. It could be moving on from this sort of mindset, this sort of like, I'm giving too much, and, then it makes me cynical. It makes me blunt. Yeah, like it makes me feel like I've kind of been used. So some of it could be that you're moving on from that sort of cycle. So about setting better boundaries and being able to hold to that. So let's see it from a timing perspective. When does it look like that moving on from this cycle or situation? When does it look like that's coming through? Once you forgive yourself. So once you forgive yourself for being in those cycles and having that sort of loop in your life, that's when you can move on from it. All right, let's take a look at our life path and mission. and see what's coming up. And with this, a lot of this is if you have imbalances, you know, your natural tendency is to try to find that peace, try to find that solution. So you need to be able to find this solution here so that you don't feel like you're overspending, overgiving, and then feeling kind of like you've been manipulated. All right, so on your life path, in the recent past, you have Page of Pentacles energy, currently sitting in Queen of Wands energy with the Devil in reverse as the next level of energy. So in terms of your life path and your mission, you've had this kind of loyal, consistent ambition of moving your life in this direction or that direction. And you're sitting here kind of confidently in this joyful type of energy. And the next level of energy is this independence and this kind of self-control and freedom, so you're happy and you're at that place where you don't have that devil energy pulling you off your path. So it's like you're on your path, you're happily on your path, and it looks like you're staying happily on that path. So really good from a life path and mission perspective. It looks like you're pretty on track there. And so it's just, job and relationships that maybe need a little bit more attention. So the nice thing is that means you can kind of put this on the back burner, maybe, in terms of feeling like, oh, I really have to focus more attention on that area of my life. So here we have full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. So with this up here, where you have your Six of Wands in reverse, this disappointment, this arrogance, there's some negativity there. And so releasing that as you're going through your contemplation, releasing that is where you're going to be able to kind of make some strides and turn that corner to get those blessings at work. All right, let's take a look at our soul journey card. Happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. So some of it, even as you're trying to find the balance here with the relationship, if you're overgiving and that's leaving you in this kind of, cynical energy, that this amount of giving is too much and it's not making you happy. So that's not the right path for you, that you need to find that balance. And the same up here, with your job, that if you're not happy when you're doing it, then that's not really the right path for you. Oh, and I just had a whole bunch that fell out. So I will keep shuffling and pull. All right. If not now, when? So if you have this sense of, you know what, I'll take a look at that later. I'm just going to put it on autopilot. I have too many other things to think about. If you just kind of keep kicking the can down the road, you're really not addressing it. So doing nothing is still making a choice. So this, when it's saying, if not now, when? If you have something where you feel like something needs to change, don't wait. Like with this, if you're trying to keep this tower from happening, why are you trying to keep it from happening? If it's going to be happening, just go ahead and let it happen so that you can move on to the next thing, like that next stage in life. So don't keep putting it off until a later point in time. So I hope the reading has been helpful for you today, giving you some things to think about as you move into the second half of the month. And depending on if, like, for example, if you're on a twin flame journey, I do have some twin flame videos that I've posted. I also do ones, the Is This Your Person? Message from your person, the Pick a Pile readings. So if any of those are ones that are of interest to you, hit that subscribe and notification bell so that you can be alerted as to when new videos like that post. And then I also do the daily videos as well. So I wish you peace and joy along your journey, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.